638, page 639, page 640, page 641, page 642, page 643, page 644, page 645, page 646, page 647, page 648, page 649, page 650, page 651, page 652, page 653, page 654, page 655, page 656, page 657, page 658, page 659, page 660, page 661, page 662, page 663, page 664, page 665, page 666, page 667, page 668, page 669, page 670, page 671, page 672, page 673, page 674, page 675, page 676, page 677, page 678, page 679, page 680, page 681, page 682, page 683, page 684, page 685, page 686, page 687, page 688, page 689, page 690, page 691, page 692, page 693, page 694, page 695, page 696, page 697, page 698, page 699, page 600, page 700, page 701, page 702, page 703, page 704, page 705, page 706, page 707, page 708, page 709, page 710, page 711, page 712, page 713, page 714, page 715, page 716, page 717, page 718, page 719, page 720, page 721, page 722, page 723, page 724, page 725, page 726, page 727, page 728, page 729, page 730, page 731, page 732, page 733, page 734, page 735, page 736, page 737, page 738, page 739, page 740, page 741, page 742, page 743, page 744, page 745, page 746, page 747, page 748, page 749, page 750, page 751, page 752, page 753, page 754, page 755, page 756, page 757, page 758, page 759, page 760, page 761, page 762, page 763, page 764, page 765, page 766, page 767, page 768, page 769, page 770, page 771, page 772, page 773, page 774, page 775, page 776, page 777, page 778, page 779, page 780, page 781, page 782, page 783, page 784, page 785, page 786, page 787, page 788, page 789, page 790, page 791, page 792, page 793, page 794, page 795, page 796, page 797, page 798, page 799, page 800, page 801, page 802, page 803, page 804, page 805, page 806, page 807, page 808, page 809, page 810, page 811, page 812, page 813, page 814, page 815, page 816, page 817, page 818, page 819, page 820, page 821, page 822, page 823, page 824, page 825, page 826, page 827. Distinguished Senator Aishatu Dahiru Ahmed Binani.
Thank you, Mr. President, distinguished colleagues. Aishatu Dahiru Ahmed Binani, Senator representing Adamawa Central. I rise to move that the vote and proceedings of Wednesday, 18 December 2019 be approved and adopted. I so move.
Distinguished Senator Uche Lilian Ekwinife Iyom.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, my name is Senator Uche Lilian Ekwinife Iyom. Mr. President, I represent Anambra Central and from Anambra State. Mr. President, I rise to second the motion as moved by my dear sister Aisha. I so second.
Distinguished colleagues, those in favor that the votes and proceedings of Wednesday, 18th December 2019 be approved, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. The votes and proceedings of Wednesday, 18th December 2019 is hereby approved. Petitions. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, my highly respected and distinguished colleagues, I rise, Mr. President, with your permission to come under Rule 43 and formally announce with a tragic heart the tragic loss that this distinguished chamber suffered yesterday with our loss of distinguished Senator Benjamin Chukwuemeka Wajumugu, who passed on to the great beyond yesterday, Wednesday, 18th December 2019, at a very ripe age of 51 years. And right, of 51 years, which means that I am about 17 years older than he, or 18. And you could see the kind of loss that Nigeria suffered. Somebody who was Speaker of the Imo State House Assembly, a senator par excellence with whom we shared and went through a lot in the ex-Senate. He was here with us the day before and made his own contribution in the debate, as we are all aware. But here we are today, mourning his passage. Mr. President, it was a loss that has been shocking to all of us. We pray the Almighty to grant his soul repose in the bosom of the Lord and also take care of those he left behind. Benjamin Wajumugu was our chairman of Employment, Labor and Productivity Committee. It's a huge loss to all of us. And going by our tradition and convention, Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I would like to move a motion. First, for the Senate to observe 1 minute silence in the honor of this our very great distinguished colleague. And secondly, to adjourn this plenary on all work in the Senate and by convention of the National Assembly to respect the loss that we have suffered. And also to urge the Senate to graciously consider suspending our Rule 13 in order for us to conclude and finish businesses before we dissolve this Senate on the Christmas and New Year break. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, we share this burden. It's very disheartening for somebody to stand here before you and before all Nigerians to announce this tragic passing. We all mourn our colleague and pray to God to take the pose of his soul. I so move, Mr. President.
Minority Leader.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, on the motion for us to suspend plenary in view of the loss that we have suffered by the demise of our good friend, I would like to add, Mr. President, that Benji Wajumugu, Igbo man, and we have several names that we use whenever death happens. And so you can have people answer Onwa Ebula, which means death don't come. But the one that we give that is most appropriate today is that Igbos call some people Onwebua, which means death will never take away your name. So today, while supporting this motion, I want to let all Nigerians know that death will not take away his name from us. I so second.
Distinguished colleagues, there are 3 prayers in the motion. One is we'll observe a minute silence. 2, suspend plenary and other legislative activities today. And 3, suspend our Order 13 for us to sit tomorrow, Friday. Normally, it's not a sitting day. So I'll put the question. Those in favor of the motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. 1 minute silence. May the soul of our departed colleague, Senator Benjamin Wajimogu, who represented Imo North, rests in perfect peace. Amen. The Senate is hereby adjourned till tomorrow, Friday, the 20th day of December 2019 at 10 a.m. prompt.